What's up, guys? We're going to talk about a little bit heavier of a topic today, just because this is something that I just went through. This is something that I've gone through for a lot of my life, too. And I had to let a little bit of time go by for my emotions to settle down. That way, I'm talking rationally and with as much actual sense that I can. Basically, what we're talking about today is feeling betrayed by your parents. Now, obviously, this is such a hard thing that a lot of kids do go through. And it's because your parents are supposed to be the person who's always in your corner, who you know you can always go to, who you can depend on, who you do depend on, regardless if you want to or not. At some point, you did truly depend on them fully. But sometimes they let you down. Sometimes they fail. Sometimes they hurt us. Now, I want to preface everything by saying, listen, we got to know that parents are people too. They are human, so they're going to mess up, they're going to fail, and they're going to suck sometimes. Because everybody does. You're going to have that in every single relationship you will ever have. Forever. That's just simply because we're human. But the reason why I'm talking about it today, specifically for me, is because I got grounded a couple of days ago, which is already a little bit wild to me because I'm an adult, and for me, I feel like I just need a little bit more space to really grow into being my own person and learning how to fail for myself instead of having my parents inflict failure upon me and having a whole mess about it. And I could go on and on about that. I could be right, I could be wrong, they could be right, they could be wrong, we both could be right, and we both could be wrong. That's just what happens when you talk about people. But the grounding is whatever. Obviously, that is a very effective and a very common thing for people to go through. In my personal opinion and through my research and through my study, it really depends on the kid and their personality. However, what I really want to talk about today is the fact that my dad thought it was a great idea to not just ground me from everything, but also go through my entire phone. Now, I agree with this for some people, because some people have some crazy things going on. I know my sister was doing crazy things when she was a kid, and so maybe that's where that stems from. However, I don't have that type of dynamic. Of course, my sister has grown up and become a very mature woman now, and she has taught me to do the same things, to not fail where she did, to not make the same mistakes she did, so that I can have an easier time in life coming in the future. However, still, my dad, regardless, he went through everything on my phone. And listen, I give my passwords away to sorry, not passwords, but like the password to my phone or my Amazon Prime account or my Disney Plus account or my Netflix account. Like, I give that away to people very freely. I give people my phone with zero supervision very easily because I have nothing to hide, and I want to help my accountability partners know that. I also want to help anybody who meets me automatically know, like, there's nothing about me that I need to hide away. Of course, are there some things that I do need to keep to myself or do need to keep in between me and this person or me and this group? Because you should. There are things that you should keep between, either to yourself, between people. But my dad went through everything. Didn't talk to me about it. Didn't ask me about it. Just did it. And to me, personally, that was just really uncalled for and very hurtful. And I feel very betrayed about that. The worst thing to me was the fact that it was my camera roll. He went through, it's not just that he looked through it. He went through all of my videos about it too. And again, just personally with me, like, dude, what are you doing? All of this stuff is private. It's in my camera roll. And I know he went through it all because he also said, hey, I went through your hidden stuff and saw that even when I typed in your password, there was nothing there. Dude, it's not double hidden. I just don't have anything in there because I don't have anything to hide. And he talks about, and he's like, hey, I see you're doing videos on this. I see you're doing videos on this. And this is exactly why I do this stuff at like 10 o'clock at night in my room, in the game room with all the doors shut in the back corner. Like I make such a hard decision to conceal all this stuff because I don't want anybody to see this. I don't want anybody to know because this was a me thing. All my YouTube channels, it's a me thing. You know, like I wanted it to be something that I do personally for me without anybody having to realize it. Of course, are some people, you know, as I'm sitting outside, they're going to see, you know, all that I'm doing or that I am filming, this, that, and the other. But, like, the videos and the actual content inside was mine. And it was between me and my friends. Or, you know, me and the people that I love, me and the people that I'm close to, that I'm doing this with, that I'm goofing around with. It was mine. And now it's so hard to make these, knowing that one day he might see these, or that he already has. He already has my channel flagged. He already knows if he posts, I'm going to watch it. And now I feel like I can't just say what I want to say. And the whole point of having specifically this channel is to say the things that nobody else is willing to say. But I don't want to say what is in my head and say what I'm thinking, whether it's right or wrong. Because if I get called out, like, I'm going to do my research and I'm going to go, you know, really sit with the Lord in it. But I don't want to have to worry every day coming home, am I about to get in trouble? At 18 years old, am I about to get grounded and have everything taken away because of simply something that I wanted to say and put on the internet? Like, obviously, I need to be careful, and trust me, I'm careful. But, dude, why would you do that? So, and the reason I'm posting it here and not on my main channel is because this is an issue that is very, very biblical. This is very obviously Satan trying to stir something up. And I also know a lot of people have gone through this. There's a lot of people with parent hurt by the ones, again, that are supposed to be the people that you depend on. Me personally, and this is what I'm going to talk about how I'm just going to speak my mind. I don't have a great relationship with my parents. They're together, which is great. You know, we all live under the same house, same roof. That's great. I have everything, you know, that I could ever want paid for, you know, like, you know, all these great blessings. But if I had the choice to throw all of that away for just a good relationship with my family, I would every single time. I am so thankful and so grateful and so very blessed. But more than anything, I wish I just had a good family dynamic. I really just wish I could come home and be excited. I wish I could hear my parents walk through the door and be excited. I wish I could just sit down and talk with my parents and be excited about it. Instead of having so many hours of just degrading talks over and over and over again. And I understand they did better than their parents, and their parents did better than their parents, and it's getting better. But it still hurts, you know. And even like the fact I play baseball, and since I've turned 18, my dad goes, "I'm not your dad anymore. I'm your coach." And just looking at him and hearing him say that in my head is just like, dude, like, you were never my dad in the first place. Objectively, yes, but in my heart, no. Because we look and we see God the Father is supposed to be an example of how your dad is supposed to be. Is he going to fall short? Absolutely. But like, man, you know you can go to God. It may not feel like you can always go to God, but you know at the end of the day you can go to God. I don't feel like I can go to my dad, and I also don't know if I can. We all know that old lie of, oh, just tell the truth and you won't get in trouble. And then we tell the truth, and what happens? We get in trouble. And it's like, that creates this distrust. And of course, we're young, so we don't understand, but it's still feeding into the psyche that we have so far down the line. My sister basically moved out at 16. She was staying at her friends' houses all the time. Actually moved out into college at 17. She now graduated college at 19, and she still isn't coming home. Like, that should speak volumes to my parents, and I feel like it just doesn't. And then they do stuff like this. So from a biblical standpoint, what should we do? Because we can't let the enemy do this. And I mean, there are so many worse things. Like, I'm complaining about it now. Dude, there's people who have been beat by their parents. There's people who have been, raped by their parents. There's people who have been left and abandoned by their parents. There's so many things going out in the world that is so much worse than what I'm going through. And understanding and knowing how I feel, even almost a week after this happened, still just such the hurt and the distrosity. I don't even have words. And there's so many more people dealing with so many worse things than I am. So how do we deal with this as parents? And personally, the biggest source that I have for this is Joyce Meyer. If you don't know who she is, and especially if you struggle with stuff like this, look her up because she has such an amazing story. Her father did terrible things to her. Her mother allowed those things to happen. And she still is one of the most godly women out there. And she's very open and public about it. And it's our responsibility as the kids, even though we feel betrayed, even though we feel like it's their fault, we still have to be the ones to, one, go to God, and two, forgive them and try to make amends. I know for a lot of you out there who are watching this, you're not going to want to do that. That third one, you're not going to want to do that. And I totally understand. I understand because personally for me, I feel like I'm 18 years old. There's no time right now to create a father-son relationship anymore because I'm an adult, because I'm becoming my own person. That is something that needs to happen when you're, 4 or 5 years old, you're a kid, you want your dad to come home. And just for me personally, like, that just didn't happen. He was working all the time. When he did come home, he really just, got us in trouble because my mom didn't want to be the bad guy. So he had to do it. Like, thinking back, it's not his fault. But as a kid, I didn't understand that. But it's still our responsibility to never let the devil have a foothold and to stand strong and read the word. And the word says to only do 2 things to your parents: obey them and respect them. And I know that's hard. Believe me, I know. And I mean, I know there's a lot of you being like, you don't know. And honestly, I'm okay with being wrong on this one because I know what some of y'all have gone through, and I can't imagine. But again, it's our responsibility. We have to give it to God. We have to forgive them. Because if we let the devil get in our heads, if we let the devil stir this pot, it's dangerous. There's nothing more dangerous than a lack of a parent. I almost said offspring. Yeah, parent-offspring relationship. There's nothing more important than a father-son relationship. There's nothing more important than a mother-daughter relationship. These are the cornerstones of your life. This is something that you really build on. And for a lot of us, has that been sabotaged? Absolutely. But it's our job to change it. And it's also our job to change it for our kids. Now, that's the most important part. Proverbs talks all about setting up the world for your kids. And we have to do that. We have to be the ones to take these experiences and not hold them against our parents, but instead turn them into fuel to treat and do the things that we wish we had as a kid for our kids. That doesn't mean spoil them. That doesn't mean give them everything they want. That doesn't mean never ground them. No. discipline them. Proverbs also talks a lot about that. But also, take the time to build a relationship with your kid. Take the time out of your day to love on them. And if you're a parent watching this, it's not too late. It may feel that way. It definitely feels that way for the kid. But if you try, and I mean genuinely try, none of this bull crap, oh, I asked them to hang out and we just didn't. No, like, you actually tried to hang out with them. You actually tried to build a relationship with them. That's what matters. It hurts. It's going to suck. But we have to. Because this is too big of a relationship, too big of a foothold to give the devil and expect that it won't affect us later in life. Because it's affecting us now, it affected us when we were kids, and it's going to continue to affect us for the rest of our lives. And we need to handle this now. So, I mean, that's all I got. I mean, my biggest thing is pray about it. Because, man, I have needed to be in the Spirit so bad. God, I've needed to pray so bad. And be in worship. So, that's what we got to go do right now. So, let's stop. And let's celebrate the fact that we're here. The fact that we have parents in the first place. And let's go spend some time with God. So, let's do it.